What we have coming up in the workshop will be absolute torture. Hey guys, welcome back to the workshop where we will still, see, I told you it was going to be torture. We are continuing to work on our lovely terrain set from Mantic Games, the terrain crate. Sorry. Words escape me today. That's also a form of torture, is when you try and think of a word and it just won't come out. Torture. But from Mantic Games, we have their wonderful terrain crate set for the torture chamber. Haha. And we're just going to continue working on those things. These things are absolutely fantastic. If you need something kind of nice to work on your play mat, where you have your D&D figs, or your, even if you put it into it, something for Warhammer or whatever, they seem to kind of be the right scale. About 28 millimeter. I might be a little bit wrong. People can correct me in the comments if I am wrong. That's fine. The more that I learn, the more information, the more correct information that I can give to you guys who are watching the show. All right. So basically what I've done is I'm trying to do a sandstone sort of thing for the sarcophagus top. Now, the sarcophagus top is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you guys can see it terribly well, but I am so looking forward to diving into this one, which is probably what we're going to do this session. But what we're going to do first is we're going to take the mummy and we're going to take the skeleton and we're going to kind of finish those guys up. Let's see. Finish those guys off. What we're going to do is we are going to take a wash and we're going to give them a full wash over. And then once they're dry, we're going to start picking out some of the details. So let's take a look and see what we've got, shall we? Agrax Earthshade? No, that is not what I want. I know usually it is, but this time it is not. Vericlin Fleshshade? No, that is not what I want. There we go. Seraphim Sepia. There we go. That's what I want. I'm going to kind of use it, well, actually, I might use the Agrax Earthshade on the bones, because I want them a little bit more dirty. But for the mummy, the little guy that you see right here, there you go. Right there, the mummy. We're going to use the Seraphim Sepia wash right there. And it's going to age the bandages. It's going to make it look a little bit older. And I'm actually kind of excited to see what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. Like I said, after that, we're going to go back in and we're going to pick out some of the details, like the hands. The hands and the face aren't wrapped. But right now, that's not a big deal. As we can go back in and give it any other color we want, and then we can re-wash over top. There we are, and as you can see, it's starting to fill in and pick out the the bandages that our mummy, or that the mummy is wrapped in, that our mummy is wrapped in. Now, since this one actually is molded or modeled all the way around, that's what we're going to do. We're going to wrap the mummy. No pun intended. But we're going to wrap the mummy all the way around. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to leave the feet. The feet aren't done because that's what I was holding it with, right? So we're going to leave the feet for now. But as you can already see, it's a nice darker color. It's going to, once it's dry, it actually will pick out. It's going to sit in those recesses and it's going to pick out the bandages, and it's already going to age our bandages, which is fantastic. And again, for things like these, you don't need them to be perfect. You don't need them to be at a master class level. You don't need them to be even at a character level. You just need them to look good and get the point across that, hey, good gosh darn, that's a mummy right there, and we should probably, our party should probably be scared. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look. We're going to take a look at this fellow right here. And it looks to me like he's on like a blanket or some kind of cloth. So we're going to go to our blues. I think I want a blue for this. Now again, we're going to go over to the wall O color. And right here behind the camera, I've got all of my colors up on the wall. Kind of like how I did in the last studio, how they were all along the wall, but over here, now they're all behind you. But it still does the same thing. It gives me the wall O color. Still takes a minute to pick it out. Here we are. Altiac blue. That's a relatively nice blue. It's a layer, so it'll go on thin, but that's okay. Kind of want it thin because we're gonna wash the whole thing once that's dry. We're gonna wash the whole thing over with Agrax Earth Agrax Earth Shade to kind of age it. We're gonna go back to my Citadel. Nope, we're not gonna do the medium. We're gonna do the small layer right there. So we have a little bit more control over where the blue goes. Because there's not a lot of fabric showing, but there's, enough. Yeah, so this is kind of what we're doing. We're kind of giving this guy here kind of a blue sort of fabric-y looking thing. Kind of clean up the we kind of went, a little crazy painting the bones. This is kind of what I love about this hobby. Certain layers you can kind of go crazy and just paint however you want. Then as you get in tighter with other stuff, that's where the neatness comes in and the neatness counts. And I'm kind of loving how the blue looks. It's great. And guys, I have to say, and I'm really appreciating my new studio. The new paint pit is coming along great. I mean, we still have a long way to go until it's, you know, in its final form, in its final stages. But what I have going right now is great. You know, I'm not sitting on a stool at a dinner table anymore. I actually have a desk and a desk chair, and you know, I have my own. It's still a mess, and you can kind of see here. Let me get out of the way. You can kind of see it's still a mess. You know, all of my spray paints are right there. I did put a banner up, but you know, I got all my boxes, which are filled with games and other miniatures and Lego, and you know, all kinds of things. And over the coming however long, we will get this place into shape, hopefully. Okay, so what you guys can see here, sort of see here, I realize it's not terribly in focus, and that's okay. Well, even down here on the paint pad, you can kind of see what I've done is that I've put blue all around the skeleton. Whatever. I don't know where the tip protector is right now. Not a big deal. I'll bring them up. Hopefully that'll bring them a little bit more into focus. So as you can see, what I've done is I've put the blue all the way around them to make it look some kind of cloth. I don't really know what the cloth is. I don't really care. It's just there. So let's paint it up. Let's make it look cool. The reason behind the cloth, not a huge deal. There we are. So you can see that our set is starting to really, really come together. Okay, now we're going to take a moment. This is kind of the last piece that I'm going to do. So we're going to do the alternative top for the sarcophagus, and it's kind of an Iron Maiden thing. So there's, you know, spikes inside. There's iron banding. You know, this one we can, you know, these things we can spend a little bit of time and do some stuff with. To me, it still looks like it's a bit of, you know, it's a little bit of wood. So we're going to start with that wood formula that we had. What have I got here? Medium base. I think that'll work. It's one of the Citadel's Games Workshop. Their new artificial haired brushes. And so far, I have been liking how they work. Take a touch of water. And here we can be messy. We can worry about making things pretty later. Actually, there isn't as much wood as I thought there was going to be. But that's all right. We will get things going with this. And now we are going to turn it over, and we're going to do the inside mostly wood. We're not going to see the inside too much. Doesn't mean that it shouldn't be done. Here we are. Spreading everything out. There we are. I go over that wood again, just out here, just to make sure we got all the spots I think we're going to need. Now, there's a spot that may or may not be wood, but I'm going to choose to make it wood. Why? Because these are my miniatures. And I can paint them however I want. So I've chosen to make it wood. Whether or not it is wood is irrelevant. Yeah, there we go. I mean, if you want, you can look at the box art, and go and take a look at it and go, yeah, you know, I'm going to paint it just like that. Or you can go completely off the rails. Paint it however you choose. Okay. Now, part of the wood process, and even going into the skeleton, is that Agrax Earthshade, killing two birds with one stone. So to the wall of colors we go, and Agrax Earthshade we pull up. Give all of your paints a shake. to make sure that it's all mixed up and it's all ready to go. Even the washes, which are mostly liquid. We're ready. So you can see the wash settling nicely into all the recesses. It's kind of giving the blue more of a dingy, dirty look. Hands wash. And if you find that it's pulled up too much for what you want, you can always move. You can sop some off, move it around, whatever it is that you need to do. Now remember, what we're going for here for is, again, we're not going for a character level. We're not going for, we're not even necessarily going for painting competition level. We're just looking for something that looks good on the table and plays well. Same thing with the wood. There we are. Let's see. Well, the inside's still a little wet, so we're just going to leave that alone. But we got the outside done, which is fantastic. We are on our way actually finishing this whole set. Well, you can see how it's kind of, it's aged it, it's kind of given it, it's pulled it a little bit. Still needed to dry a little bit on the back. What I'm going to do, I think, I'm going to take my egg racks. Just going to hit it in a few places. I mean, we did the wash once already with the other one. Now we're taking another wash. Age it up just a little bit more. I'm not hitting every part. There we go. And there we are. Let's take a peek on the inside here. even with the wet. The wet might actually be to our advantage. Remember, everything kind of happens, works out for a reason. There we are. See how that turns out. Experiment! Why not? Looks good, I think. There we go. Alright. Well, while we're waiting for everything else to dry, we're going to go on to the sarcophagus top. And all we are going to do for that one right at the moment is paint the whole thing gold. And we'll pick up with what we got left next time. And we'll use that nice medium base. Some gold out of the picture, or take some gold onto the palette, is what I meant to say. And we're going to give it a beautiful coat of gold. You want to try and get as much as solid gold coat as you can. Look at that. Sarcophagus top for the gods. Because, you know, that's what pharaohs, or at least some pharaohs anyway, believed they could be. Or believed that they were. There we are. I said, we want to try and get a nice, good, solid coat on our sarcophagus top. And while I finish this up, I want you guys to remember to paint safe, and we'll see you in the workshop, all right?